Story 1: Dungeon Game. The paranormal that I faced was in my late 30s. As a person born in the 1990s, I am a gamer who people say is not doing his job properly. As a bohemian person, I pay no heed to the gossip and opinions of others about me. I had some moments of strangeness in my life, but out of the ordinary things didn't happen for a long time. I meet with my buddies at Cyber Cafe each week. We often participate in competitions to earn extra funds. As usual, I met my friend at a Cyber Cafe again. When I was playing the online game, there was a link prompt out. It might be a virus website, so I closed the window without hesitating. However, the link kept popping up. I asked the staff to fix it. It's strange that when the staff approached my seat, the window had been closed. After the staff left, the window was prompted out again. Thus, I clicked the link to check what would happen. Surprisingly, this is a dark web. I browsed this page for a while, and an item was attacking me. I decided to buy the item. After a few days, the parcel was delivered to me. I couldn't wait to open the package. This is a VR game, and I didn't expect the paranormal would happen. When I played the VR game, I felt a bit dizzy and darkness engulfed my vision. When I woke up, I noticed that the surrounding environment had changed. I touched my head and realized I wasn't wearing a VR headset. Everything around me was so unfamiliar. I can conclude that I had worn a VR headset before I came to this place. The gloomy environment made me involuntarily feel tense. Run. Get out of here. Leave here. There were a lot of voices coming from different directions. I found that a building didn't harmonize with its surroundings, and a gentle drizzle started to fall. The building became the only shelter in the rain. I ran towards the building with anxiety. Boom, boom. The thunder roared loudly. As I approached the building, the door opened automatically. The raindrops are ticking, the leaves are rustling, and the thunder is roaring, like a symphony of nature. Everything around me made me unable to calm down. I tiptoed into the building, fearing to disturb the natives. Bang! The door shut immediately. After that, I started to hear someone snickering and whispering. He. The sound came behind me. When I turned back, there is nothing behind me. I feel like there are countless eyes around me looking at me. But I didn't find anything suspicious. He. Snickers echoed in the room again. I decided to leave the building and go to the open space to wait for rescue. Unexpectedly, the door seemed to be blocked by a heavy object. It seemed to want me to continue exploring the building. I had no choice. Moving forward was my only way. A dark shadow flashed in front of me. I chased after it without hesitation, thinking that maybe it was the shadow of an animal, and it might be able to lead me to the exit. The shadow entered the room, and I followed the shadow. What caught my eye was a girl sitting on the bed, combing her long hair. I looked away shyly and apologized for my behavior. The girl didn't respond to me. I expressed that I meant no harm and hoped she would tell me the way out. He. The voice came back again. The girl walked towards me. The hollow eyes, the blurry face. I felt uneasy and nauseated. A while, the hollow eyes seemed like black holes, firmly holding my gaze. Uncontrollably, I picked up a comb and started to brush through her beautiful hair. I fainted by her face, which I thought was beautiful. "Hey, wake up! Wake up!" My buddy was shaking me and slapping my face. He told me I had been out of touch for a week. I asked my buddy about my VR headset. However, he told me he saw I was sleeping on the floor with wide-eyed and my hand was holding something. When I opened my hand, I noticed that it was a strand of hair. In the following days, I constantly felt shoulder pain, as if there was someone standing on my shoulders. Story 2: Mirror. I have grown up in a ghetto since I was a child. I thought my life would stay in slums until I noticed a complete mirror on the side of the road. After some thought, I decided to take it home. Late at night, when I was wondering whether this mirror could be sold for a good price, a force sucked me into the mirror. Looking at the luxurious yet comfortable room, I never expected to have the privilege of entering such a room in my life. The dirty and tattered clothes made me stand out. I casually grabbed a set of clothes from the spacious dressing room and went to take a shower. Sir, are you in the bathroom?" A vicissitude of voice came from outside the bathroom. I felt extremely bewildered and afraid that someone would mistake me as an intruder and arrest me. I deliberately deepened my voice and asked tentatively, "What's the matter?" "Sir, your fiancée Katie is waiting for you in the hall," the old man said. "I know. I'll be there in a moment." My response revealed my unspeakable nervousness. As the footsteps outside gradually faded away, I decided to sneak out of the room. I climbed over the window and came to the lush green garden. It was evident that the owner of this house not only had wealth but also cared about greenery. "Sir, why are you here?" "Miss Katie is waiting for you in the hall," a woman who seemed to be a servant said, with a hint of panic. I couldn't help but feel confused. "Do you know me?" "Sir, are you joking? You are my boss. How could I not recognize you?" The woman answered my confusion with a bit of astonishment. I felt even more confused. I couldn't understand why this woman would say such things. When I calmed down to think, I decided to let her take me to meet the woman named Katie. A beautiful and charming woman suddenly gave me a warm hug. "Raymond, I miss you so much. Didn't we agree to try on wedding dresses today? Why aren't you ready yet? I was silent for a while, casually brushing off the woman named Katie, and asked her to leave. I contemplated that the people here seemed to have mistaken me for someone else, Raymond, the owner of this villa. I told everyone in the house that I would stay in the room and asked everyone not to disturb me. After about 2 hours, I unintentionally heard a sentence from outside the door while I was feeling deeply annoyed. "Sir, aren't you in the room?" I was unable to hide in time. The door was opened out of the blue. The dilated pupils showed surprise among us. A man with the exact same face as mine caught my eye. The man quickly closed the door and approached me. I am certain that this person with a face like mine is the owner of this villa, Raymond. "Who are you?" Raymond was the first to break the silence. "Chris," I answered without hesitation, and explained how I came here. Raymond looked at me thoughtfully. "Why don't we use the mirror to briefly switch identities?" I was immensely shocked by Raymond's suggestion. He continued, "You desire wealth, and I crave freedom. A brief exchange of identities can allow us to get what we desire through each other's identities. What do you think?" I once again confirmed Raymond's idea and confirmed his seriousness. I accepted his proposal. After that, we signed the agreement. Like the left and right reflection in the mirror, in my world, I was right-handed, and Raymond was left-handed. We exchanged identities and enjoyed each other's lives in our respective worlds. I fell in love with the identity of financial freedom, fell in love with Katie, who loved Raymond deeply, and fell in love with everything about living here as Raymond. However, Raymond came back. He said he couldn't endure the days when others oppressed him. Of course, how many people could endure Chris's life, and how many people envied Raymond's life? Chris refused Raymond's offer to switch back to our respective identities. Raymond harbored murderous intent. Why should I let others replace my beautiful life? Raymond picked up the fruit knife on the table. After a struggle, the knife stabbed into my body. The blood kept gushing out. Maybe this time I would be free. I was thrown back into my world through the mirror by Raymond. I finally took back my identity. Today is the day I'm engaged to Katie. "Honey, since when did you start writing with your right hand?" Katie said softly to me. I smiled and responded, "People always need to keep progressing, don't they?" Story 3. Author's Dream. I had a dream of becoming an author since I was a child. Nowadays, I have realized my dream finally. I believe that anyone who identifies as an author has experienced a period when no one cares about their works, and I have also experienced this painful period. I've been in the industry for 8 years, but no one has cared about my novels in the past 8 years. The lack of sales even led publishers to terminate their collaboration with me. In order to persist in this dream, I was regarded by my wife as a chair warmer, and divorce was the punctuation mark in our relationship. In order to fulfill this dream, I have experienced hunger, and I abandoned my dignity to beg the publishers in the end. I do not know whether my perseverance is correct. I just want to fulfill my dream. I am currently agonizing over my new novelle, and even angry at my uselessness. I swept everything off my desk, and my life became like scattered items on the floor, a mess. I smashed my laptop without hesitation. After a cathartic release, I collapsed on the table and fell asleep. He. Someone was giggling surrounded me. I got up my nerve and instead, who? Abandoned by your wife at 28 years old. No one cares about your works in these 8 years. Feeling lost about your future, the voice echoed in the darkness. I looked around, seeing nothing but pitch black darkness. Once again, I gathered my courage and asked, "Who are you?" A mocking voice emanated from the darkness and said, "I can be you. I can be someone else. I can make your novels popular or unnoticed. Of course, these are all conditional. After all, there's no such thing as a free lunch, right?" I fell silent because what he said was true. Helpless, forced to admit my failure, I said, "Yeah. What do you want? Apart from this miserable life, what else do I have that would interest you?" The voice in the darkness swiftly interrupted my words. "Oh, no. All I want is your soul after you die. As long as you're willing to come back to me after your life is over. As a condition, I'll grant you everything you desire. Wealth, fame, even making your works popular. How about it?" As a societal outcast, the temptation was irresistible. I agreed to his terms because who knows if the soul truly exists. When I woke up, I found that 2 days had passed since my dream. Seeing my previously shattered laptop miraculously intact on my desk, I believed the dream was real. There is always a voice in my brain telling me to write my life into a story, including this dream. I decided to follow my inner voice and write my story. An overwhelming sense of fatigue overcame me while I opened my laptop. The intense exhaustion made me involuntarily collapse on the table and fall into a deep sleep. When I woke up, I found that a portion of the novel had already been completed. I knew that the mysterious person had fulfilled his promise, and my heart was fully filled with fear. I hated my own uselessness and weakness, but I couldn't let go of my desire for fame. Day after day, I felt satisfied when I am watching the story nearing its climax. I had a strong curiosity about the ending of the story because it might also be my ending. In the end, everyone gave very high praise to this story. I have to admit that the story indeed had all lure, but I could only watch from a distance. I watched from afar as my body was manipulated on stage to receive awards like a puppet, while I could only search in the darkness for the next person who is willing to exchange conditions with me.